believe it took it. All right, so let's go with the Zoom package, which is Cliff, you ready to go?
Yeah.
I think that's a yes. Okay, you need to look up at the camera a little bit. And there we go.
I'm ready to go.
Can you hear me, Cliff?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Cliff, you're good to go.
All right. I'm not sure what I'm seeing on the screen, but good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I'm joined by Mike Smith, who's hiding down in Florida. How is Florida? From the snow.
Permanently.
Yeah. And we have our producer, John McDonough.
Morning.
And we're looking for Fru Nkimbeng, Eileen Delrossi,
And Ralph Hogan.
and Ralph Hogan. Yeah, I was going to get there. I'm just a little slow. So, it's 16 degrees and snowing, and it's supposed to be this way until 8 o'clock tonight. Feel is 5 degrees. Looking for a high of 21. So, isn't that a wonderful thing? And you don't have any snow, right, Mike?
No, just that white sand.
Yeah. Stuff you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you guys.
Just to let you know, it's 71 down here now. So.
And how's Kathy?
Good.
Good. So, back in history, on this day in 661, this was a long time ago, the Rashidun Caliphate effectively ended with the assassination of Ali, the last caliph. And why this is important in Islam is the early Islamic polity was led by the first four successive caliphs, and then with this moment things changed. So jumping ahead 1,200 years, in 1863 in the American Civil War, Governor of Massachusetts John Alban Andrew receives permission from the Secretary of War to raise a militia organization for men of African descent. So this is where we start to have Africans helping to fight for the freedom of their brothers. In 1870, on this day during the Reconstruction era, Virginia is readmitted to the Union. And in 1926, we have the first demonstration of television by John Logie Baird. So that's when television kicked off. Today is the day in 1945 when Audie Murphy won his Medal of Honor due to valor and bravery. In 1949, the Hale telescope at Palomar Observatory sees first light under the direction of Edwin Hubble. Becoming the largest aperture optical telescope until 1976. I've actually been up by the Palomar Observatory. Nice view. In 1991, Mohammed Saeed Barre is removed from power in Somalia, entering centralized government, and is succeeded by Ali Mahdi. And things have been downhill ever since. In 1998, on American television, U.S. President Bill Clinton denies having had sexual relations with former White House intern Monica Lewinsky. In 1880, Douglas MacArthur was born on this day, Medal of Honor winner. I think he may be the only father-son team with Medals of Honor. His father won one in the Civil War. He died in 1964. In 1905, Marie von Trapp, Austrian-American singer, was born. She passed away in 1967. 87. 1925, Paul Newman, American actor, was born. Passed away in 2008.
I met Paul Newman. He got gas at the Esso station I used to hang out at the corner of Highland and Gorham Street. Nice guy. He had his beauty queen wife was quite the he get out of the car. He's a very friendly guy. Was nice.
That's nice. 1944, Angela Davis, American activist, academic author, was born. In 1893, Abner Doubleday, who was in command when his commander died, was shot and killed on the first day of the Battle of Gettysburg. He was born in 1819. And I figure Abner Doubleday is your bête noire, John.
Okay, whatever you say.
What?
Whatever you say. I don't know what you're talking about.
Abner Doubleday. He invented baseball. He gave us all those acronyms.
IDC.
Yeah.
You know what IDC is? You don't know what IDC is? Cliff.
I don't care.
There you go. Beautiful, Mike.
Okay. In 1932, William Wrigley Jr. Founded the Wrigley Company. He's the chewing gum guy. He was born in 1861. And in 2020, Kobe Bryant, basketball player, died in a helicopter crash out in L.A. His daughter was with him. She also perished. Today is Australia Day in Australia, and it's Republic Day in India. So, we have been joined by Ralph Hogan. How are you doing, Ralph?
Ralph just walked away to get a coffee.
Oh.
Can't you see his screen?
I do. I just thought maybe I wasn't seeing it correctly. All right. So when Ralph gets back, we'll reintroduce him.
You also have Eileen here. Good morning.
Good morning, Eileen. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. How's the snow up on Christian Hill?
It's a lot, but I mean, knock on wood, I don't think it's as bad as what they said it was going to be.
We got no camera, Eileen.
What?
You gonna leave your camera off?
I'm going to put it on in a few minutes.
She's working on beautification.
Yes. Beautification.
Well, I got an email 24 hours ago from Jim Booba.
Oh my God.
He said...
Is he the head of the Republican Party now?
No.
I'm surprised.
He said that meteorologists, like Democrats, never quite have the right word, and he figured they'd muff this one too. And here is Ralph Hogan. And you got snow, Ralph?
Yes.
You haven't shoveled any, have you?
A little bit. I don't know. What do we got? 18, 20 inches?
Yeah,
Something like that.
that's it. A live look for the audience. That's off my rooftop camera looking east towards Belvedere. That's the old courthouse, and we got a lot of snow, baby. A lot. And the wind has the flag straight out. So it's windy, it's cold. It's a good day to go back to bed. Thank you.
Thanks for telling me now.
Yeah, exactly.
Go back to bed. After the show, at 8 o'clock, go right back to bed.
So,
There's no school, there's no nothing. Wherever you might be thinking about going today, call them first. Because chances are they're not there. I was stunned. My wife was stunned yesterday. My sister-in-law stunned. They closed the Moulisses at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, the driving was really bad. I was out, and it started earlier than people thought. It started at like 9:40 instead of noontime, and then 30 minutes after that, I had to go run some errands, and it was bad. It was scary.
Yeah, it started early. We had one of my colleagues, Joanna, she had her son's first birthday party yesterday at the Village Inn out in Drake. And it was all scheduled, bam, 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 for 2 o'clock, and she moved it back to 1, and they had a great time, but it was in a great attendance, too, for a little kid, a beautiful little boy, and it was snowy, big time.
I understand the new mayor of New York did not cancel school for today in New York City. It got a bit of a roasting about that. That seemed like it was kind of a straightforward decision.
I didn't hear that at all. I was listening to 1010 Winds this morning, and they were talking about traffic. They didn't bring up him at all. Interesting fact. Thank you, Cliff.
Well, the polling market has a government shutdown on January 31st, which is not that far away, at 85%. So that was after Senator Chuck Schumer announced Democrats would not advance the appropriation bill if DHS funding is included. I'm not sure what he said, Lane. He said what's happening in Minnesota is appalling and unacceptable in any American city. Is there any other American city where it's happening?
Not that I know of.
Cliff.
I mean, it's just in Minnesota. You're not seeing stuff like this going on in any other city. I mean, this is, again, what happened before in Minnesota. And the question I keep asking is, why have we gotten here? Why have we gotten here? Because the police in Minnesota won't cooperate with ICE. Where the other states, they don't have this issue. If they would release these people that were in jail to ICE in jail, there would be no protests in the street. There would be no ICE agents out in the street like they've got them now. They would not be having these issues. And, I'm not shocked we've gotten here because they have a governor and mayor there that just are using politics to ramp things up. I mean, these are professionals. And when they say ICE get out, go and video the ICE while they're there, instead of saying, let's be calm, let's do the investigation, let's see where we go on this, which any reasonable person would expect. And all they're doing is just ramping people up and getting people all emotional. And it's just insanity. And I don't see anything changing because I don't see Trump pulling ICE out of there. and I don't see Waltz and Fry ramping down the rhetoric. So, I wouldn't be surprised we see another shooting.
What,
because of this.
can I ask, I've not really watched much of it, but what happened on Saturday?
They killed a guy.
Was that all in Minnesota?
Yep.
Yep. Again.
Wow.
And they're covering it up. They won't show the video, but Monday's coming, so we'll see what happens.
Well, the thing is, they make it like this guy was the angel of God. And I'm not saying that the guy was bad, but think about this. Anybody in their right mind, the guy has a concealed carry permit. And he carries a gun with 2 extra loaded clips to this protest. What the heck was he thinking in this tension and everything that's going on? And he broke the law by doing that because he didn't have the permit on him or ID to show that he was legally carrying. So what the officers did was not right either. I'm not saying what they did was right. But all it did is escalate a situation that didn't need to happen. The guy was right in the face of the officers. If you look at just before the shooting, he was standing like 1 foot away from the officers with his camera going and saying whatever he was to them. All they're doing is just escalating things all the time.
Well, Mike, it would help a great deal if ICE answered the phone. I tried to be in touch with ICE to just ask them some basic questions, and they don't answer their phone. They say email us. So I've emailed them. I haven't heard back yet.
Okay, so I understand that. But again, the real question is, how have we gotten here? We've gotten here because there's no cooperation between the state of Minnesota and ICE to get people out of there that are criminals. They have this separation agreement. And it's just, they've got people that are in jail that ICE knows they need to take and deport or prosecute. And they're like, yeah, we know that, but we're not going to let you have them. So instead of going into jail and easily transferring people into ICE's custody, they're letting the people on the street. Now ICE has got to go neighborhood to neighborhood, or wherever they're going to try to find these people. So, ICE, some of their tactics, I definitely disagree with. But on the other hand, Minnesota wasn't helping. And it's all political. You got that crazy Governor Walz, and thank God he's not vice president. This guy, and they're using this to change the narrative away from all the fraud in Minnesota that they let go on. This is like a golden gift to them to change the narrative. So, this is what happens when insanity prevails. And I don't see anything changing because I guarantee Trump's not pulling ICE out of there. And Minnesota with Waltz and Fry in there, they're going to keep ramping things up. So, I won't be shocked if there's another shooting that happens.
It's sad. Very sad.
Mike,
Don't you, I agree with what you're saying, Mike, in general terms, but I'm going to put the blame back on Congress because it's a federal issue, it's immigration. Why can't they straighten out the basic problem? I think Biden administration was out of their minds letting 20 million people in. But that's the problem. It's the immigration process. It's not in place, and that's the crux of it. And it reminds me of high school and the redcoats, and there's a brewing civil war going on. People are dying. It's dangerous.
Yeah, and as far as immigration, I can speak personally from that because my partner is Canadian. And for those of you who don't know, it took 2.5 years to get her green card. And she had lived and worked in here when she was married before to an American, and she paid into the system, and she had a green card then. She had a green card when she was a teenager because she went to school in Florida and graduated from Fort Myers High School. So this is her third green card. It took 2.5 years, and I won't even get into what the lawyer cost and all the fees to the government. But they need to do a much better job on vetting and accelerating the process. Now they're going to make the process even harder and longer. So I don't know how that's going to help things either. But, you know, the questions they asked, the things that we had to produce, and they had records that she had already had a green card twice here. So the Congress have not done their job from either party for years and years. They put it off. And they let this happen because they're all looking at what politically is good for them. For the Republicans, it's like, well, we can use it for all these bad people coming in the country, or we can use it against the Democrats for letting them in. The Democrats are letting them in because they're hoping that they're going to be here, and when they're in power, they'll have enough people to vote and say, all these people, we're going to wave the magic wand and make them all citizens, and they're all going to vote for us. So both sides are at fault, and nobody wants to make the hard decision. I mean, actually, whether we like it or not, Trump has made the hard decision now. He's slowing down all the immigrations. He's pausing everything. And he's saying, nope, we're going to really look at everybody before they come in the country. Whether we agree with him or not, he has closed the border, despite what they used to say that they needed Congress to do it. He is getting rid of people that are criminals, and they are going to have a more thorough vetting. So unfortunately, for people that are applying now to come in the country, it's going to take much, much longer. But, I mean, Congress put everybody in this position, and it's not good.
Back over to Cliff.
Okay, so our state rep, our U.S. rep up here in Lowell, Lori Trahan, sent out an email, I think it was Saturday night, and she had 4 bullets. First, there must be a thorough, swift, and independent investigation. Now, I don't know who she thinks is going to qualify in her mind for an independent investigation. The FBI is investigating the Renee Good shooting. Okay, second, ICE must immediately leave Minneapolis. All right, she mentions there's been only one other homicide in Minneapolis since the start of 2026. I mean, that was a good move, started 2026. She just glosses right over the assassination of the shooting of 2 politicians and their spouses, 2 of whom died.
Didn't they shoot up a church there too?
No, but they invaded the church and disrupted the service.
I remember this. 2 people got killed at a church service there. Maybe a different state. Never mind.
You know. So who's going to do the immigration thing if ICE leaves Minneapolis? I don't know.
Nobody. They want to cover up the fraud. That's all they want to do. Cover up the fraud.
Her third point is Kristi Noem must be removed from office. She's the Secretary of Homeland Security.
She doesn't want Trump gone?
No, she didn't mention that.
Wow.
And then she says we can't rubber stamp this behavior. I voted against the Department of Homeland Security funding, but this bill this week because it would have rubber stamped the blatant illegal and deadly actions of ICE. Under Kristi Noem's leadership, Senate Democrats have announced they will block the legislation in the Senate this week. This is an important step. So our U.S. rep wants to disrupt the federal government. But
That's interesting, Cliff, because there's ICE in Massachusetts. They're in every state right now going after people. And So she's talking about Minnesota. If she's talking about Minnesota, why isn't she saying ICE needs to be out of Massachusetts? So it's okay for them to be in Massachusetts, but not Minnesota? You know, she represents Massachusetts, not Minnesota.
Well, I think that's right. I wrote to her a week ago and asked her if she couldn't come up with some sort of a compromise bill that secured the border, got rid of the worst of the worst, provided path to citizenship for others. Oh, and I said, to sweeten the deal for the Republicans, throw in ID to vote for federal elections. Never heard back from her.
Blocked? I have a theory. She has you blocked.
I missed it, Eileen. Say it again.
I have a theory she has you blocked, and a picture for all our staffers of you. If you ever walk in, do not let this man get to me.
Well, as we sort of wrap this up, you guys are all probably too young, but
Thank you.
when I was young, there was a popular cowboy western song that was, "Don't take your guns to town, son." So Ralph has heard the song then.
Well, you know, the thing, go ahead, Ralph, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is even this guy's own parents told him not to go and do this, you know, and he ignored it. And, you know, in life, you know, they always talk about consequences. I look at it differently. I look at results. So when you make a choice, you're either going to have a good result, a bad result, or nothing changes. He made a choice that resulted in a bad result for him and others around him. And, you know, common sense, everything's ramped up. Why would you bring your gun and 2 extra loaded clips to come into a situation like this?
Michael, very good point. My mother taught me, when you see trouble, go the other way. Didn't he ever understand? Did he have a bad mother?
I don't know. The parents, I mean, it's come out, the parents a couple weeks ago told him, you know, not to get involved with, you know, interfering or getting in, doing something you shouldn't be doing in this.
Pretty much the same thing.
The video shows before this, he's literally standing 1 foot away from the face of the ICE agent. You know, I mean, it's sad. It's really sad that this guy got shot, and I definitely think that the ICE agents, from what I'm seeing and hearing, overreacted. But when they see a gun, they're trained to react a certain way. A lot of people don't understand that. And, you know, the guy did not need to bring the gun with him, and 2 extra loaded clips. That's sort of being forgotten by everybody. You know, it's not going to get better there, because ICE is not going away. They're staying there.
Yeah, I think
It's sad, though, that this country can't, you know, get their act together and come up with an immigration policy and move on, because we're on the brink of a revolution. I mean,
No, we're not.
well,
It's Minneapolis. When was the last time you walked there?
John, there's more cities than Minneapolis.
Nah.
But you're only seeing it in Minnesota and Minneapolis. You're not seeing this. I mean, they did Chicago. You didn't have this happen. Philadelphia, you know, all these other cities that were dead. Like I said, right now, ICE is in all 50 states doing the same thing, you know. But Minnesota, because they're so adamant about this separation ordinance and being against anybody being arrested that they're trying to go after, that this is escalated. And Waltz, there's no way, because he lost to Trump, that he's going to cooperate. There's just no way. So this is where we are, and it's not going to get better.
Solutions? Would you got a solution, Mike?
Well, the solution is put some sanity into Waltz and Frey and said, look we need to stop this. We can protest, but we need to stop this rhetoric and stop ramping things up. Get data. We need to film everybody. I mean, everybody's forgetting they also had an incident at the airport where they ended up arresting people because they went beyond the boundaries of the permit. That was in the news also. You didn't see anybody getting shot there or whatever. I mean, but these people, you really need to find out, do any of these people have jobs? Do they seem like they're there every day? Where's the money coming to support this?
Mike, lying in this country is okay. There's no law against lying.
I understand that.
And they just lie. But they don't realize when you lie to a cop, you're breaking the law. You can't lie to a cop. Now, are these ICE guys cops?
Yeah, they're federal officers.
Do they have badges with numbers on them?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They're law enforcement for the federal government.
Then you can't lie to a cop. That's my takeaway from the law.
No, well, if you lie to a cop, and they prove that you lied, that's you're breaking the law. But I mean, the whole thing, go back to the first shooting, the officers are saying, turn off your car and get out, or get out of your car. And what does that person do? They drive away. Would anybody on this podcast do that? Would they, if an officer is there saying, you need to get out of your car now? I mean, it's...
Mike, where is the training on what to do when you get pulled over? Where's the training? Because all we see on TV is when the cops come up to your door, race away. That's all we see on TV. So what would you do?
Yeah. Oh, I would stop if I was stopped by a cop or whatever, and they said get out, I'd get out. I mean,
and I would not get out until I was told to get out.
Exactly. Like, I'll be honest, I've got stopped a few times for speeding. What do I do when I stop for speeding? Okay, I pull off to the side of the road, roll my window down, put my hands up on the dash so he can see that there's no problem for him. Then I wait for him to say, get out your license or get out your registration. That's what I do. You're not messing around because the cops have guns. I don't, it's
John.
not good.
John.
Hi, Cliff.
Did you not have parents?
Move to the next question. That's a stupid question, Cliff. Continue.
Well, that's where you learn how to deal with the police. From your parents.
Cliff, when you watch on TV, everybody else rockets away. What do you do? It's not hard for the doggone cops to make a video and say, look when we pull you over, this is what you're supposed to do. Now, have any of you people ever saw a video like that?
Yeah.
The answer is no. Where'd you see it? Where'd you see it, Cliff?
Yes.
Where'd you see this video, Cliff?
I don't remember, but I remember seeing it.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is you see on TV, John, that they drive away. What's the result of that action for them? Not good when they do that.
No, it's not.
So, I mean, again, let's look back at common sense. You get out when they tell you have a less volatile situation. On TV, they drive away. They either get shot, rammed into, or they're tracking them down to arrest them, and now they got a bigger problem. But social media now, the younger people, because their parents, again, are not teaching them anything, they say, oh, yeah, go ahead. You don't have to listen to a cop. You don't have to do what they ask you. So these, and everybody's on social media, and they're saying, oh, well, they say we don't have to, so we must not have to. It's
the reveal.
I don't remember ever seeing a video about what to do when you get pulled over. I thought this all came out of like the Black Lives Matter movement, where cops were being way more aggressive with colored people and so forth. So I didn't know you're supposed to automatically put your hands on the dash.
It's the smart thing to do.
Well, when did you learn that?
From a policeman.
I learned that right now that that's the law. I thought the police were being excessive with asking people to do that. So yeah, I just learned it right now. So thank you, City Life. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody.
It's just a smart thing to do, because the cops, you know, when they don't know who you are when they pull you over. So they're, you know, and you know, they've already scanned your record, and you know, for the car and that, if you're driving, but they have to be cautious, because police officers have gotten shot before.
That's true.
Now let's bring it back to Congress, Cliff. What can you say about our fine Congress in inaction?
Nothing, because there is no action. They're going to shut the government down because they're unhappy with what the Democrats are going to shut the government down because they're unhappy with what's happening in Minneapolis. And that will just make the lives of the rest of us miserable. I mean, they'll end up shutting down air traffic and a lot of other things, and it just won't be helpful to the people.
I think it's terrible, you know,
this time
the
of
whole
year.
situation. And unfortunately, when you look at it, and you know, nobody wants to see people, especially fellow Americans, get shot. But you know, it's the immigration thing. I say it's Congress that's inactive. I mean, lock them in the Capitol building and let them come up with a solution. Do your job.
It's all
Pay it
political.
away.
It's all political. It benefits both parties depending on what's going on. So now the Democrats, it's to their benefit now because of what's happening in Minneapolis. And to the Republicans, all the illegals that were coming in under the Biden administration, it's politically advantageous to them. So it all, depending on what's going on, one part or the other is looking for the political advantage. They're not looking at what's good for the United States of America. And until we get the politicians to look at what's good for the United States of America, we'll continue with these problems. And it's not...
I thought I sort of lost the bubble on Iran. Is the Ayatollah in trouble? Has he managed to suppress the insurrection? Were we going to do something? I know we're sailing some ships in that direction. Does anybody have any thoughts on Iran?
Well, all I know is that the local Amazon driver has indicated that the Ayatollah has ordered an extreme amount of tourist luggage. So I think he's going on a trip.
You know, this is a long-term thing. Trump plans things out in advance with the military. This whole, you know, when they went into Venezuela, they've been planning that for months, putting together everything for it. There's something on the drawing board for Iran, you know, right now too. I don't know what it is or what they're planning on, but they're not moving all those ships into that area just for the fun of it. So in Iran now, they have no air defense systems. They have nothing. You know, it's been already shown that the U.S. can use their air power to come into Iran if they have to, and there's nothing they're going to do about it. So we'll see what happens. The big question is if the Ayatollah is toppled, who's going to take over running the country there, and how is it going to be run? That's the real question. Right now, their money is worth nothing, so that's putting a lot of pressure on the regime there, because the people have no buying power at all. So we'll see what happens, but we already saw they had the protests, and how many people, we still don't know exactly how many people they killed, and how many are in jail that are going to disappear on top of it.
I've heard numbers up to 30,000. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, and I don't think they'd have a problem with 100,000 if they had to, because all they care about is staying in power and ruling the way they are.
I'd like to take one of Mike's points, and that is, what do we do next? When we went into Iraq, we eliminated the government, and we ended up with chaos. On the other hand, if you don't take out certain people, you're going to end up with what you had to begin with. So, the post-war situation is very important. We have muffed this in the past, so we need to do better.
Well, more to come on Venezuela. Let's see how that pans out. That may be a blueprint for what they may have to do in Iran, possibly.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think that the president and his advisors seem to understand this problem, which is why they're working with the vice president who's fleeted up to run the country.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so the question would be, who would they work with in Iran if the Ayatollah goes? See, that's the real question. Because I don't have any idea right now on who would take over in Iran and how that would be run. But I know personally from somebody who lived there, who's a soccer referee I did games with, I mean, that regime there is really brutal. He saw his uncle and his father shot by them because they didn't agree with something. So it's just, people can't understand how brutal it is in Iran, how they run things. It's just, it's either you do what we say or you disappear or you're executed. And I mean, it was pretty brave of those people to do the protests, but did anything change? Nothing's changed right now.
yeah. So, did the president get what he wanted with regard to Greenland? He seems to say so, but I don't know. Eileen, do students learn where Greenland is?
Do students learn where Greenland is?
Even President Trump screwed it up the other day.
Well, what is the saying? The Greenland is really Iceland, and Iceland is really Greenland?
Eric the Red.
Different countries.
Yeah, Eric the Red named them that way because he was in the real estate business 800 years ago. And he wanted people to go to what is now Greenland, and so therefore he called it Greenland and the other place Iceland.
Right.
Eric the Red is, I think, the father of Leif Erikson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of famous people who made some geographical choices. That's interesting.
That's true.
But what continent is Greenland, Iceland on?
Well, I think Iceland isn't on a continent. It's just out there by itself in the Iceland-Faroes Gap.
All right, so then I never learned it in school. When I went to school, I don't remember students learning about it, teaching. I I mean, honestly, I'd rather teach a student how to read than where Greenland or Iceland is.
Yeah. Well,
Got a lot more issues going on here with these kids.
amongst us and our spouses, about, 10 people?
Yep.
My wife is the only one who's been Greenland.
I was there.
The what?
I went to Greenland.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
You
What
take-
airline do you take there?
A cruise ship.
Oh.
We went to Iceland and Greenland.
I've been over both of them, but I've never landed on either of them.
Greenland's famous for roofs that are covered with dirt and grass. And I was told by one of the locals they do that so the roof doesn't blow off in the winter.
Yeah? That makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be the dirt and grass that blows off, not the roof. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it turns into one big chunk of ice that won't roll up in the winter.
Got it. Yep.
Well, moving on, the headline I read was the first Catholic influencer is getting beatified. Well, I'm not sure that he is the first Catholic influencer back before we knew what an influencer was. But
But when you say influencer, what does that mean, Cliff?
influencer is someone who has a public persona and has an impact on people. People with their own YouTube channel, their own...
Like Mr. Beast.
Like who?
Mr. Beast.
Oh.
And the influencers who have all these shows, like it could be on cars or how to fix cars, they're all called YouTube influencers.
Well, Eileen, are we influencers? We have our own show.
No.
I think we have too many opinions to be influencers because we're not zoning in on one area. We're more of the view, like the view, the meal view. Everyone's got a different outlook.
Is Turtle Boy an influencer?
What?
Is Turtle Boy an influencer?
I would say he is because he believes in what he believes in. He pushes that and he doesn't change his opinion for anybody or anything. And he wants people to think like he does. So yes. I don't think we do that here on this show though. We like to gossip. We like to chat. We like to talk a lot of trash at times, but not trash, but real things that affect the city and so forth. But it's disheartening because it's sad that things don't get done about it. So, yeah, I don't think we would be called influencers. We'd be called a morning talk show.
Okay.
All right.
So, Bishop, well, I think he was a cardinal eventually, Fulton Sheen, was from my area, from Rochester. So I remember watching, when you say influencer, Cliff, I think you're referring to that he was on TV a lot. So, and that was almost unheard of for a priest to be doing that. So he was, a lot of people watched him back then. So he had some effects on people. He did influence people. So I understand why you're using the term influencer. He was originally, I think, a bishop from Rochester, where I grew up, and then I believe he became a cardinal after that. If I think I'm correct on that.
Uncle Fulty. My father, all the way Methodist, watched his half-hour TV show every week.
Yeah, he was on every week, and a lot of people, I remember as a kid, him being on the TV. So that gives you my age, so.
Yep.
So, John, there's a way to get monetized for YouTube if you and I want to go and do that, and people can send us Snapchats also, because that's also what influencers get. They get like, it's not Snapchats, it's Super Chat or whatever. People send you money. So we could go on and talk about why Cliff shouldn't use the crazy vocabulary words that he uses that nobody knows, and we can talk about that forever.
Maybe down the road.
Oh,
My niece does on Instagram and stuff like that, and she gets paid for stuff. We just were talking the other day because my sister is visiting, and she does these cat videos, and she had 1 million people watch this one cat video on Instagram. It's
Wow.
just, yeah.
They make great money. Look at Mr. Beast. That all came from YouTube and the influencers, and there's tons of them out there that started a YouTube channel on something and become millionaires. I
Yeah,
mean, look at Mr. Beast.
She gets money every month, and she gets all this free product for cats. I mean, she gets, it's amazing, all the different things. I mean, she has a job too, but it's just crazy. And all the stuff, like she gets all her food, the cat litter, everything. She doesn't have to pay for anything. So it's,
I love that, but I don't know. I'd be afraid to, like, people also who are YouTube influencers get a lot of public pushback, and depending on what it is, you know what I mean? And I think cats are pretty simple and straightforward, you know, but a lot of the influencers around here get into a lot of trouble because people then use their public profile to turn against them and to get people to, you know, we were talking the other day about doxing, giving out their information and where they live and where their kids go to school. So it's influencing in this area is difficult depending on what you're doing.
well, that's true. Ralph, you got any thoughts on influencers?
Pardon me?
You got any thoughts on influencers?
Well, if the only thing that would motivate me would probably be Chunky Monkey. I mean, if they were to have a few free pints of Chunky Monkey, I think I could become interested. But it takes a lot of time to build up exposure on the internet to become an influencer.
Yeah, it does actually. It really does. You got to start out small, and then that's how you grow. But you may be onto something, John. We can do pizza and ice cream influencing.
I'm in.
Yeah, we can go to all the we can go to all the pizza places and criticize it, and or
Wait.
critique, constructive critique, and then all the ice cream places. I mean, we could make this really work well. We spin on the Monday Night Dinner Club. The Monday Night Dinner Club is kind of like an influencing type of thing because you're giving them a rating. So we could also rate the pizza and the ice cream, whatever we do that day.
Well, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Around 1,000 people go look at our Facebook page every week.
Wow. Yeah, so that's a solid following, I think. But that does influence it, especially like if we say the service was great or the food was so delicious, or you know, you'll say something like it was nice, and people will know kind of like, okay, or a great conversation, right? You never say anything bad, but you say something that may not involve the critique or criticism of the place.
Well, I can tell you a little secret that if it says we had so much fun we forgot to rate the place, it stinks. If that's what it says, we had so much fun we forgot to do the rating, that means it stinks.
So we'd have to be a little more hardcore for a pizza.
I ain't
or
gonna
a-
get sued. No, they ain't paying for your free lawyer.
Wait, say that again. What did you say?
They're not gonna pay. Who's gonna pay for our lawyer?
Oh yeah, good point. Would we need that though?
So, as soon as I critique that Eileen's restaurant was a dump, the booze was bad, the food was bad, and the service was bad, you're gonna call Morgan and Morgan and sue our pants off.
But what if we keep it strictly to like pizza and ice cream?
So we go to Eileen's Pizza and Ice Cream joint, and we say it was dirty, service was bad, and the food tasted lousy. You're gonna call Morgan and Morgan.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, we need to fine tune this idea, gentlemen. So keep thinking.
I'm sure Cliff, with his verbosity, could come up with some terminology that would let the place down easy.
Yes. I don't want to go slamming people. That's not nice. Oh, except for Kamala Harris. She and her husband, Doug Emhoff, have dropped $8 million on a mansion in a exclusive Malibu neighborhood out in the Southland, right on the water. Didn't she know there's climate change coming? $8 million?
I guess she doesn't have an affordability issue.
No, apparently not.
I just got an alert. There's also 2 to 4 more inches of snow coming.
Yeah, this afternoon. This afternoon, after lunch.
Eileen, could you keep them at your house if you don't mind? I have more than enough in the driveway.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to going out there.
You of all people should not go out there.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I've arranged enough help, but yeah, I don't think I should go out until maybe the end of the week. Honestly, with all the black ice.
Well, you know people that will come shovel your snow for money?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you need somebody, Cliff?
Send me an email.
Okay, I will.
Although Jose Cervantes said he might be available, so
Yeah, let him call him. He told you to stay in.
yeah. Oh,
Don't like to listen to anybody but yourself usually, but you need to.
I listen to all of you. That's why
Nope.
Ralph?
I'm not going to send money to any president's library. If they want a library, they can fund it themselves. It's their library.
John?
Nope, not on my list of things to
Let's
do.
take a break then.
Is
Say-
it coffee time?
Coffee time.
We're gonna go to break. We'll be back. Thank you.
Everyone's going to get coffee. I'm going to leave my video off for a little. I have a ton of dishes from yesterday and all the food we cooked, so I'm going to start working on those. But I'll be listening.
Understood. Thank you. "15 degrees outside, and the wind is doing a pretty good job with the flag. And as you can see, there's no sidewalks. to go?
Yes.
You're up.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Life Show here in Massachusetts and the surrounding communities. I'm Cliff Krieger, your host. I'm joined by Eileen Delrossi.
Good morning. I'm going to and everything shut off for a little bit because I'm going to start on the dishes, but I'm here listening from yesterday.
We have Mike Smith down in Florida.
Morning.
Ralph's off getting his coffee.
And Ralph will be back in a minute. Ralph Hogan. So, the big story in Lowell, of course, is snow. What was your guess on snow, John?
I think we got like 2 feet, Cliff. We got a lot.
Okay.
I mean, looking outside, there's a lot of snow out there. I mean, a lot. Stay home. Go back to bed. That's my advice for the day. Go back to bed. Thank you.
Well, for those of you who have managed to dig out, tomorrow morning they're going to do a testing of the voting machines. January 27th, Mayor's Reception Room at 9 a.m. in the morning. It's not real exciting. It's people feeding paper ballots into machines and then seeing if the machines properly recorded what the paper ballot said. But it's an important...
Are you going to that, Cliff?
I've been to a couple of them. Probably I won't go to that one.
If you know someone, ask that they make a photocopy of a ballot and see if it what it does with the photocopy ballot. And I'll bet you it processes it well, which means counterfeiting can happen.
Yeah, they actually put them on the City of Lowell website, the ballots. I just found that out recently before you go to even fill them out. They should be on the City of Lowell election office page.
Yeah, well, my point, Eileen, is if you're down in their office, they have a photocopy machine. They have the real ballots there. Photocopy a real ballot, shove it into the machine, and see what happens. And I'll bet you it processes it perfectly.
Are the ballots 8.5 by 11?
Cliff, if you just have them make one and just give it a shot, I don't trust them. Do you trust the government?
To a certain extent, yeah.
Okay. You trust them with the ballots?
Certain people I trust with ballots, certain people I'm dubious.
When Beverly was on the board, that things were different. I don't know anybody on the election board now, and I don't think they do such a thing. Oh, we have to trust. No, you have to verify. That's your job, verify. I'll shut up.
Are you on Social Security?
Of course.
I trust Social Security to dump a check in the bank account every month. They do a pretty good job.
Do you trust the election process?
I am dubious but accepting.
And when you say dubious, what do you mean by that?
I mean, there are a lot of things I don't quite understand about how they add up. Where did all those voters go who in 2020 elected Joseph Robinette Biden president?
Cliff, exactly my point, Cliff. You're just saying today they're going to... I just say you ask the people in charge, show me a photocopy of that ballot. Now shove it in the machine, and let's see what the machine thinks about it. And if the machine accepts it, the whole test is a joke.
No. I don't think so.
Okay, so I can go, so my mail-in ballots, I get my mail-in ballot, and I go and make 50 of them. And I write in Ralph Hogan.
That's a good vote.
And it accepts my photocopies. You think that's okay, right, Cliff? Thank you, that's how Joe Biden got in.
John, no, I don't. And I think mail-in ballots, where is it, Oregon, it's all by mail-in ballot? I think that is not a good thing.
Cliff, I agree, but tomorrow, now you said they're going to test the machines. How are they going to test them? Just to see if they work?
Yeah.
Well, why not put a counterfeit ballot in and see if it works? That's where testing is.
Didn't during the 2022 election, or when Joe Biden got in, they were votes from people that they actually found out were deceased at that time?
Probably you're right, Eileen.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that need to be checked. For instance, the voter roll. One day I found someone on the voter roll who had been born back about the time the Massachusetts Bay Colony was founded. That person needs to be purged from the ballot, from the voter rolls.
When was the last time they voted?
I don't remember what it said. But that's not a good thing.
You're right.
It can be found by checking whether or not the voting machine can add 1 and 1 and get 2. Which I think is important. How's the voting down there in Florida, Mike? Does it seem pretty straightforward?
Yeah, I mean, they give you a card. When I went and got my license, they registered me. So I have a voting card. When I registered, it was past the voting time, so I'll see this year when I vote on how it all goes. But it has all your ID, everything on it. So I guess you show up, you show your ID, and you can vote. It's no big deal. I mean, compared to New York, where you show up, no ID needed, you just sign your name. From what I'm seeing, it's not like that here in Florida, though.
Yeah.
Up here, there's no ID.
Say it again, John?
Up here, there's no ID.
No. But other things happen. For instance, for some presidential election, my youngest son went to vote, and he wasn't registered. He was very unhappy.
Did they take his driver's license and run his driver's license?
No.
Because for
They
years,
They didn't even offer him a provisional ballot. I
What-
think what happened was he registered by mail, and they looked at that and said, since his name is pretty close to mine, they said, oh, he's already registered. And they threw it in the circular file.
well, they couldn't. When I go to vote, they can't find me. So I give them my driver's license, and they instantly find me because it can read my driver's license. And they told me that my name is spelled MC space D and ONOUGH. So they're never going to find me because they don't put the space after MC.
Yeah.
Can we actually talk about that for a second? I see that a lot, like with my last name. My last name is uppercase DEL. I'm sorry, sorry, uppercase D, lowercase E and L, uppercase ROSSI. But so many different, my own siblings even put it with a space when they do different things, and I've tried to tell them that's not the right way, but obviously they don't listen. But I find that certain places do put a space, regardless whether it's printed that way or not. And like AAA, I always have to remember to put a space for that one. But if you're ever looking for your stuff and you can't find it, like that's my new go-to, is just put a space in, or put a lowercase, or put it all together with a lowercase. But it's interesting.
I want to tell the audience that wherever you're going today, please call them before you leave, because I know Tyngsboro Town Hall's closed. I suspect a lot of municipalities are closed. I suspect a lot of businesses are closed today. So call the place before you go there. I shoveled out, I went all the way down there, and they're closed. I'm going to guess the banks are closed today. And I see zero traffic. As you can see on your screen, there's zero traffic out there. And usually by now we're getting a lot of cars. Most people are just staying home. Because the governor told all of her employees, stay in bed. Oh, no, wait a second. Work from home. Same thing. Back to you, Cliff.
Okay. So, former President Clinton and his wife, the former Secretary of State, were subpoenaed by a House committee, the House Oversight Committee, Chairman James Comer, over the Epstein affair, and they were both no-shows.
I don't blame them. I wouldn't go either. Silly.
So how does that work out, John? They were issued a subpoena. They're saying, no, the heck with the subpoena, we're not going to honor that. So how does that proceed?
The Epstein files is just a showcase to who had sex. Now, Mike, you're an old buckaroo just like me. And the little kids should leave the room right now because we're going to get a little adult. But when I was 17, I had a girlfriend and we were having activities. Should we both have gone to jail? That's a question for Michael.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what state you lived in.
Massachusetts.
Okay.
We
So
were
I'm
having
not
relations.
Sure. Okay, so I'm not sure at 17 what the laws are in Massachusetts. But usually you got to be 18 or older because you're considered not an adult, at least until
So
18.
I wasn't. I'm admitting it. So, Mike, when you were 17, did you have any nookie?
Well, there were things going on, yeah. So.
Did you get arrested? What state were you in, and did you get away with it?
Yeah, New York.
And
yeah.
how would you like it? How would you like it if the state of New York subpoenaed you for your nookie activities when you were 17 now?
Yeah, I understand where you're going with this, John, but unfortunately, I'm looking at it from the side of the law. If you and I got a subpoena, whether we liked it or not, we got to show up or they're coming back with putting handcuffs on us.
No, I would call my lawyer. My lawyer would respond, and he'd say, "Don't go."
Yeah, but he might say, "Don't go," but on the other hand, you're still, the subpoenas mean something. And I know why they're doing it. I understand it. But, when you see this, the problem is sort of like the stuff in Minnesota. When people see, oh, they got a subpoena, so we don't have to follow anything if we get a subpoena. So it's just not a good look for everything. And I understand why they're doing this. It's for politics. Because they're not the only ones guilty of doing things they shouldn't do. So, but I just look at it from the legal side. If you get a subpoena from Congress, can you just say, I don't need to come, So that's where I'm looking at from the law side.
Didn't a couple of Trump officials go to jail for ignoring subpoenas?
Oh, yeah. Has to be referred to the Justice Department. Justice Department prosecutes, and you go to jail.
Well, see, when they put me on the witness stand, when they asked me, did you have sexual relations with any of those 17-year-old girls on Epstein Island? I will ask the person asking me, did you have sex before you were 18?
Well, you can try that when you're on the witness stand, but the judge ain't going to like that.
It goes, and then I'll ask the judge. Your Honor?
Yeah.
Your Honor, did you
Judge
have...
calls the bailiff and says, put him in the clanker.
Bailiff, did you have relations before you were 18? It all goes in the record.
All you have to say is, on advice of my lawyer, I'm taking the Fifth Amendment, so.
Well,
It's a waste of the court. It's a terrible waste of the court's time.
I understand, John. I do understand, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying, would we, when you're looking at equality under the law or under justice, would we be able to do the same thing they did? And I don't know if it would work for us.
John, there are congressional committees. How do they compel testimony?
The same. You send a subpoena.
And if the target ignores the subpoena?
No, you should be able to correspond with the subpoena. Just show up or you're dead. That doesn't work in America today. The whole court system is based on 1700 theory before text, before email, before telephone. It's all based on give them this piece of paper. That's what it's based on. And it should come into this century. I mean, you can have the courts that say you're not allowed to come into the courtroom with a camera. Why? They don't take questions. Not in my courtroom. Excuse me, Your Honor, this is not your courtroom. It belongs to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This is my courtroom. No, it's not. Is it the judge's courtroom, Cliff?
Yes.
Mike, is it the judge's courtroom?
They're the ones maintaining that courtroom. It's still a public building and office, so it belongs to the people, but the people have elected that judge to manage that venue.
Not in Massachusetts. They get appointed in Massachusetts. Ralph, whose courtroom is it?
The judges get appointed?
Well, the judge has the ability to send you to jail for a few days, so I'd have to go with the judge, but you're right about the appointment, and, they don't agree with all our actions, but the judge runs the show.
Eileen, I hope you're using that nice dishwashing liquid that makes your hands soft. Do you care to respond about who owns the courtroom?
I use the big yellow gloves to protect my hands. So I think our taxpayer dollars are the ones that are paying for our courtrooms, and even our judges. We're paying for all of that, and that's why even more our judges need to be fair and concise when doing the policies and following the law in the courtroom. But Massachusetts, with these corrupted appointed judges, it doesn't happen.
Well, when I went up to Ned Tarmey, they had a trial for the guy who attacked the late, great Ned Tarmey. And I went to that trial, and I got searched at the door electronically, which would happen in Massachusetts. I go into the courtroom. There's a TV camera already in the courtroom. So that just shows you there's a world of difference between Massachusetts court and New Hampshire court. Back to Cliff.
Yeah. Well, as long as we're getting justice, that's the most important thing. I wanted to make one more pass on the Minneapolis. Someone made the point that there's a big difference between how things are happening in Memphis and in Minneapolis. But the government intervening is not new. President Eisenhower, you folks are too young to remember this, but he sent troops of the 101st Airborne Division to the Little Rock in September of 1957, and he said mob rule cannot be allowed to override the decisions of the courts. So he sent the governor, Orville Faubus, was going to prevent 9 young black children from going to school in Little Rock in an integrated school. And so he was blocking it. He called out the National Guard, and President Eisenhower nationalized the National Guard.
What president?
Eisenhower.
So you're talking half a century ago.
I told you this before your time. And then,
Did President Eisenhower have 2 gun clips in his belt?
No. You're probably thinking of George Patton with stars on his pistols.
Do you think we would, Cliff? Do you think that we would have won World War II without Patton? You taught at the War College, so.
Yes, but it would have taken longer.
Understood. Thank you.
So, I was stationed outside of Selma, Alabama in early 1965, and President Lyndon Baines Johnson sent Army troops to the Air Force Base outside of Selma during the Freedom March. They weren't deployed, but they were there in case there was any trouble in the Freedom March going from across the Edmund Pettus Bridge to Montgomery.
Why did he send the Air Force guys?
Because the Army gets more training in crowd control.
Oh, I understand. Thank you. Fru's slide into home base.
As you say, is.
Hey, Fru, you got to mute your microphone, buddy. You're hogging the airways. Good morning. And you look marvelous. Back to Cliff.
Fru, where are you? I have unmute.
He shut his mic off. Turn your mic on, Fru. Never mind. Proceed, Cliff.
Cliff, didn't the Kennedy, President Kennedy and RFK send troops in to talk to George Wallace about segregation?
That, I assume so, but I don't know.
I'm sure they did.
There were many phone calls, and he was just too stubborn. That's why it keeled over when we had troops go down there. The president's not dumb. He's going to start off with a phone call. Hey, what do you think about simmering down on that? I'm not doing it. Well, think about it. I'll call you back after lunch. Then you call him back after lunch, and he doesn't take your call. So, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to send my troops down there. That's what I would do.
That's about what happened.
Yep.
So has Trump talked to Walz in Minnesota yet? You know, we're talking about the president talking for simmering things down. I haven't seen anything in the news where Walz and Trump have talked to each other.
My guess is Trump has already tried to communicate through different avenues, having somebody who knows him and knows Trump call up and say, hey, what do you want to do about this? And he just starts swearing on the phone. He still hates his guts, so I don't think he's getting any cooperation from Waltz. Do you think he's getting cooperation from Waltz?
Well, obviously, from what we're seeing, no. From what I'm seeing, it's I don't see any cooperation at all. I mean, Walz doesn't, and the thing that's pushing Walz is he's not going to try to run for governor again. So he knows he's leaving, so he's saying, like, the heck with it. I'm just going to go full tilt, and crazy, and on my way out.
Well, let me hog the show a little bit more, and I'm going to go around the room and ask, how much of you think it's about the fraud? Do you think that the reason he's pushing back on the federal government is he doesn't want the fraud investigation? And I'll start off with Mike on that one. Mike's very well read about this stuff.
So I wouldn't doubt that he's glad that these riots and everything, demonstrations are going on in Minnesota, because that takes away from the fraud. Because for the amount of fraud that was going on and the depth of it, I can't believe he didn't have any inkling at all on what was going on. I mean, he had to know, but he likes getting elected. He's a politician. So
to sum it up, the question is, Mike, do you think Walz is doing this stuff just to stumble that investigation, the fraud investigation?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's doing it, because before this happened, the shooting, there was a lot of pressure. Obviously, he knew the pressure because he decided not to run for governor.
Okay,
again.
thanks, Mike. Moving on to Ralph. Ralph, what's your thoughts?
On what, the fraud out there?
No, do you think that Walz is having this song and dance show to avoid the fraud investigation? That's the question.
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely is a subterfuge to what's going on. I mean, that fraud is also spread out to Maine, Lewiston, Auburn area. I have relatives up there, and I get tidbits of what's going on. And two of the players in Minnesota, Minneapolis, and they also have companies in the Lewiston, Auburn area. So, it's obvious that there's fraud in that system, and to the tune of what, $9 billion.
Yeah, well, to sum it up, you think he's trying to stall them too. Okay, Eileen, are you going to answer us? Are you talking to us right now, or are you still in the dishes?
Yes, I'm here, and yes, absolutely. I think it was the perfect storm of events for them to flip this around.
Okay, Fru, what's your thoughts on Governor?
About what, John?
Governor Walz, this song and dance he's given about get ICE out of the state. Do you think he's doing this song and dance to push away the fraud accusations the federal government has placed against him?
Well, the federal government is equally using that as a weapon against him. Divert you. What about the federal fraud too? If you go analyze that, whatever the media does is they divert the population attention from important matters to cover their own selves, and we may sit here and use that because the media is all out to protect that.
So my takeaway from what you said is, no, you think it's what he's doing is the right thing.
Doing the right thing for the people of Minnesota.
Okay, Cliff, what are your thoughts?
I think that a lot of this is animosity between Governor Walz and the president. On the other hand, Walz said after the second shooting that he had called the White House, so he claims he's reaching out. Do I think that with regard to the fraud, yeah, I think that he and Mayor Fry are happy to have this controversy to divert attention from the fraud.
Understood. Back over to you, Cliff.
Okay. So, the high school rehab. Eileen, have we learned anything new about that? Speaking of fraud.
Yeah, it seems like somebody misgave numbers, misinformed about numbers. I have no other words to say that, other than they keep asking for more money, and city council is even fed up with it.
Would we have been better off going with two high schools and building one down in near College Stadium and maybe taking the Wang Tower and making that the second high school?
I think anything would have been better and cheaper.
Can't go back. Let's go play last week's Powerball number and see how that works. We can't go back. It is what it is.
It is what it is, but can we learn? Well, aside
Like in this city.
from you, John, aside from you, we'll ask people, can you learn from history? Fru, can you learn from history?
Well, the only thing that we learn from history is that we don't learn from history, that history repeats itself.
Wow. Mike?
What about history?
Can we learn from history?
Well, I mean, we sometimes we learn, but it just seems like we keep making the same mistakes because I think it's just when you get all the emotions tied up in this, people can't help themselves. So maybe we'll get better.
Fru, can we learn from history?
You already asked him.
All that goes around comes around. That is history.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to ask Ralph.
Cliff, certainly we should learn from history. All I can speak to is what I know, and we added 3 classrooms. There was a underground tank that was discovered, a 2 to 3 week delay. The addition come in on budget, on time, basically. You gotta know public building contracts. You gotta follow a very, very different road than just building a house or putting an addition on. Public building procedure and building is unique. And I would really hope that the city has retained outside counsel to review this process.
Yeah, you guys do pretty good over there at Great Old Tech, don't you?
Well, we try to do what's best.
That's good. Eileen, can we learn from history? Do you guys teach history?
Eileen is muted.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Should we learn from history? Yes, but do we? No. And do we teach history in schools? Yes. But do kids really listen? No. So there's a lot of gray area with your questions, Cliff.
Well, and let me just say this, Cliff. I know you don't want to talk to me on this issue, but there's an episode of Star Trek where an underling tries to tell Captain Kirk, Captain, we're supposed to do this, this, and this, and then Spock, who's her commander, just meaning we don't talk back to the captain. So in Lowell City Council, they don't talk back to anybody. They just let the manager do whatever he damn well pleases. And would you like another contract, Tom? Good job, Tom. That's what we have in Lowell. And to a degree, at the school committee. Whatever Liam Skinner wants, he gets. Back over to you.
The school committee has, since I've been here, let a couple of superintendents go.
When they don't hire our friends, that's what happens, yep.
Well, I take that personally, John, because I didn't want Liam Skinner. I don't think that was a good choice. And I stated my reasons why, previously, all the hiring from within, and we had just did the audit, so why would we do what we just audited the schools for? I pushed back a lot on a lot of different things. He's just always had the votes, and that's come from bigger political machines than just the individual elected officials, unfortunately. But it's the individual elected officials that are kind of making this happen. I never got so many phone calls than when he he would, you should really give him the contract for Liam for all these years, calls and emails and everything. There's a bigger force.
Eileen, I hear what you're talking about there, but the fact of the matter is, most elected bodies will let the hired gun take all the heat and make all the decisions. They'll just sit back and wait for re-election year and try to get re-elected.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Thank you.
Well, we'll see how it goes this year. The Lowell Sun had a article on Business Outlook, which it called pessimistic. Their clever wording, pessimism trumps optimism. But Ralph, are we ever going to get the downtown back, do you think?
Could you repeat that?
Are we ever going to get downtown back?
Where'd it go?
No.
Where'd it go? It went online.
Nobody's going to shop in downtown. It's never coming back, Cliff.
What do we do with that place?
Turn it into residential.
That's the answer for everything.
Well, we need housing, don't we?
Well, there's a lot to like about Lowell, and
Well, that's gone by the wayside. Now we come to Lowell where we're
long time
intelligent
ago,
people. There's
but
up.
nobody wants to admit it.
They're going to change the logo. They're going to change our the way we spell the word Lowell or the way we present the word Lowell. They're going to change a different logo. That's not going to make it any better. Downtowns are dead. I don't shop. My wife buys everything, and I like it that way. But if I need a pair of sneakers, my latest pair of sneakers, I bought them on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. But downtown when we were in high school, John, is gone, and it's not coming back, in my opinion.
I agree. But downtown's a little neighborhood. It has restaurants down there that do okay. And we need to encourage the use of the restaurants by the citizens.
Well, unfortunately, they put too much subsidized housing downtown, and therefore the economic base won't support. There's a lot to like about Lowell and high-end restaurants that they have attempted to bring in, unfortunately.
Well, when I go to downtown Lowell for dinner, I always meet an out-of-towner that's moved to downtown Lowell because they like it.
But we should equally understand that the times have changed. There's online marketing and all that. Downtown used to be where you go down 20, 30 years ago, you go down and shop around. But now you can sit in your home and order whatever you want to order. And it is not more. So we have to catch up with the times and evolve downtown to meet with the current generation.
Good point.
Okay, so jobs, because everything's, in my mind, is based on the jobs, because the jobs generate the money to rent or buy houses, buy food and all of that stuff. Is Lowell going to have the jobs for the next 30 or 40 years?
A good chunk of the mills have been converted to housing. Where do you put the jobs? Where do you find the industrial commercial space?
You build it.
Where's the land, John? It's
Hamilton Canal
real.
District. The Hamilton Canal District.
The forward planning just wasn't there.
I like that question about the land. Go ahead, Fru.
I was saying that in terms of the current situation, they should make downtown more of a touristic site. It's gone are the days that you will use the mill for industrial and marketing thing, but as someone mentioned, there was so much to like about Lowell because most people came to Lowell that you can come there and travel around the world because there are so many cultural things and people from the neighboring towns that did not really have the mosaic that Lowell has come there, not only for buying goods but also for cultural and social and so many things. I think they should invest in making Lowell again a cultural mosaic that can attract people.
Eileen, you have any thought on this before we move on?
I'm a blank slate, Cliff. Blank slate.
Mike, you lived in an area sort of like Lowell for a while. What do you think?
Say that again?
Who are you asking, Cliff?
Mike.
I thought you were asking Eileen.
Oh, no. Eileen said she was a blank slate, so I was going to move on to...
I got out of that one. Sorry.
Can you please, now I got distracted, can you please repeat again what you were asking so I can answer it?
Well, you coming from up in the Buffalo area, you've seen industry winding down. Is anything replacing it? Where are the jobs? How do we keep people going?
I'm actually was about 90 miles east of Buffalo, Rochester, and they used to have major businesses there, Xerox, Bausch & Lomb, Kodak. They've all been reduced to a lot less than they had before. But they've replaced a lot of those jobs with these tech parks, small startups, a lot of stuff with, tech stuff that they've been doing. They've attracted people to the area. So they've recovered with a lot of different things because they had a lot of highly skilled people who worked at Kodak, Xerox, and Bausch & Lomb. So those people have moved on to other companies that they've developed in the area. So.
Well, the thing that worries me about that is we've got a governor who is not encouraging of more energy. High tech means you need electricity, and the governor thinks the answer is to threaten the electric companies if they increase their rates. We're fighting a computer center here in South Lowell. I'm not sure we have a mindset for all that.
Well, Cliff, I think you're discounting AI. AI is going to take a lot of automated intelligence is going to take a lot of these computer jobs away.
You're absolutely right, John, but unfortunately, AI is going to need the data center, and the computer data center needs power, and they can't run without electricity. And they haven't addressed how to get the electricity from the source to the power centers or data centers. That's the linchpin to what's happening. You're right, John.
My solution to that is we tell NASA, the National Air, whatever they call it, the space rocket people, knock it off with the rockets, study electricity, and find an easier way to make it. Because we're creating electricity with steam plants.
Well, small nuclear plants are the answer, but...
No, they're steam plants. No, Ralph, they're steam plants. That's all they are. They're steam plants. Nuclear power does not create electricity. It creates steam. And the steam makes our electricity.
But it's the cheapest way right now.
Well, let's put NASA on it in a wartime speed. At wartime speed, find a better way to make electricity.
Well, they're implementing
They're failing.
sort of surge tax on power and energy in the state, but the governor has delayed it for a year.
We're failing.
I don't know why. I mean, if you enact a tax or a levy on the public, why would you delay it for a year?
Because people don't do the math.
No, people are going to go vote. They're delaying it until after the vote.
Well, Cliff,
Yeah.
I was thinking about 20, 30 years ago, Lowell was in the same situation, but if you remember, you think about the Small Business Association that they encourage even immigrants and supported them to give loans and start small businesses. One of the small businesses that existed in Lowell and even downtown were started by immigrants with the support of small businesses and even the city hall. And that's the business department at City Hall. But right now, you see with the scare of ICE, most people who come here with that business ingenuity, and knowing that is the land of opportunity that makes it available to them, ICE has scared everybody. So you see that, the consequences of that are also mighty, but people don't see it.
Well, are you concerned about ICE?
Pardon me, I'm not, but majority, a few in the midst of many, you have to think about the many, not the few.
Okay.
You are not concerned, you are just a minority because there are many who are equally very concerned, but who have the acumen and then the intelligence, the business know-how that they can also invest, but they cannot because when they open like grocery stores or so, people who go there to shop, to spend money, that money generates in the city, they are scared now because ICE can just surround these neighborhoods and get these people out.
Yep. But, so are you recommending that ICE back off?
They should do it in a more humane way. Within these 2 years, what has ICE done that has never been done in 2 years? The economy.
Eileen, mute your microphone.
Humane way.
Eileen, mute your microphone.
That's what everyone is asking. Even the brutalized, not only those who don't have papers, but
I will find you some. All right.
as I was, they brutalize not only those who don't have papers, but citizens.
Bye-bye.
So, ICE is doing their job, but they should do it in a more humane way. They should not do it like a so-called country in the third world. What distinguishes us with those countries? If they can arrest a George, and she's saying that she is a George, and they go to brutalize her just because of how she looks and the accent, that is not what ICE is meant to do.
Well, I agree with you on that. I saw an article quoted from State Journal about Minnesota and what's going on, and they were suggesting that the culture of Somalia, from history, we had today today's the day that Mohammed Siad Barre was removed from power in Somalia, and that was the
That
last.
was the first president of Somalia. He ruled there for almost 30 years.
Yeah. And
Siad
then
Barre.
it just broke down into tribalism.
But he stayed there for 30 years because of who? Because of our support.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are saying that, let the people equally know that we supported that regime for that long.
Yeah. So it's broken down into tribalism. Can that tribalism work in a place like Minnesota, or will it disrupt the culture?
Well, the worst thing is some of these people come here, they don't want to adapt to the laws and of the land. They bring their own little cliques and here. And over time, you see that it start manifesting. I have heard horror stories in Minnesota from that group in particular. And my daughter tells me they give a very bad name to Africans, and that's not how all Africans are.
Yeah.
Ralph left because of difficulty. He had technical difficulties, Ralph. So Ralph's gone.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm sorry to say that, but we're only down to 8 minutes. Fru, does your daughter have a lot of thoughts that she'd be willing to share with us on that?
Well, she's out there in the community working with the elderly and mostly the immigrant elderly, and it is really making her job frustrating and that because the last week she told me that she was in a convenience store, an African immigrant convenience store. She left there 2 hours, and then after that she was told that ICE came there and everyone who was there, be you citizen or whatever, they just arrested you. So people, like I said, I mean, I'm not saying that these people are angels. I should do what and go for the bad apples.
Yeah.
But they should really do it in a humane way because it has given a bad name to them. I think that idea was a good thought, but the way they go about doing it gives a very bad name to the whole institution, which is not nice.
No, I mean, I immediately, to use that famous phrase, I was immediately triggered when you said, swept up everyone, citizens and immigrants alike. I don't like the idea of ICE picking up U.S. citizens and putting them in the cooler until they can sort them out. That is not good.
Ralph is back.
But you just need to listen to the testimony in front of the Congress. How these people are saying that they say they are citizens. They even show their passports, but they don't care. But just, some even say you talk as they arrested that George in front of her house. She says she's just coming from the court, and they arrested her because of her accent. She was Haitian. That's a federal judge.
No, that is not good. Anybody else have any thoughts on that?
I've tried to contact ICE on the phone. They don't answer the phone. They say email them, so I emailed them. So we'll see if they're right back. I want to take this opportunity to remind the audience about tomorrow's show. And tomorrow's show, it's supposed to be a debate. Marty Laurie is looking to get the Rodney Elliott and Vanna Howard, thank you. He was trying to get them to come in to City Life tomorrow, and it doesn't look. I have not heard from Marty, but it doesn't look good. So we might see Sam Meese tomorrow. So tomorrow's City Life is going to be Bobby Hoey, Francisco Maldonado, Marty Laurie, Sam Meese, and Tom Bommel. That's the proposed City Life for tomorrow. Back over to Cliff. Thanks.
John, maybe could you just announce that on Middlesex Street we need a plow truck to pay them to plow our streets?
Well, I'll tell you, they're plowing out there because this is my street right here. I don't know if you can see that monitor or not, but they're out there plowing.
I mean private, not. I've been calling. None of those private guys are picking up.
Yeah, well, they already, unless they're a regular customer, you're not going to hear from them, because we have our troubles too. Sorry.
Ralph, I saw an article about a week ago about 160 affordable units in the North Canal complex. Do you think that we're in the right direction with that kind of thing?
Clifford, do you know Ralph Hogan's back?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Proceed, Mike.
Proceed for the end of the day. I can give you the today's national day. Today is National Spouses Day. So, talk to your spouse or your partner. Show your appreciation for them. It's also National Peanut Brittle Day, if you like peanut brittle.
Did you guys watch the football games last night?
Yes, I did. And New England, the kicking wasn't too good. Missing 4 out of 5 field goals for that day. It was the winter weather definitely deteriorated by the second half quite a bit.
You sure did.
So it won't be there that way for the Super Bowl. But in the future, when we talk about the Super Bowl, we want to talk about the halftime entertainment.
Back over to
put
Cliff.
that on your list.
Back over to Cliff.
All right, Ralph, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. The Sun had an article about 160 affordable housing units in the North Canal area. Is that going okay? Are we making?
I don't know that much about it. I know it's not a housing authority or a state project. It's I think it's the Acre group that's putting those in. But again, I think it's low income, and everybody needs housing. Don't get me wrong, but in the big picture for the city, you can't build a strong economy on subsidized housing, and that's what they've done. So we need a new state senator like Rodney Elliott that understands the economy.
Yeah, I think that's an important point about understanding the economy, because we're losing business out of Massachusetts, aren't we?
Yeah.
Companies, workers are going north. I can't imagine them going south.
Well, construction jobs are temporary and short-lived. Once the project is done, they move on, whether it's another state or another city or whatever. A lot of people are moving north, the retirees, because
30 seconds, Cliff. 30 seconds.
Wrap it up, Ralph.
I'm going out to get the Pam out of the closet, spray my shovel, and do my shoveling. Have a good day. Great to see you folks.
And thank you for coming in, Ralph. I appreciate it. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Fru, Eileen. And John for hosting us.
Thanks, kids. We'll see you all tomorrow. Ralph, hang in there. We're going to rebook you. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Watch out for the snow.
Bye, guys. If I fall now, at least I'll fall in a pile of snow, not a driveway. It's cement.
That's true.
It's bad out here. Be careful. Please don't go out there, Cliff.
Oh, I'm avoiding.